Hi, my name is Amir Agareb and I'm going to show you how to use this tripod. First of all, you want to make sure that there's a plate on top of your tripod head. To take it out, just loosen this knob. Without this plate, you're not going to be able to attach your camera. On the bottom of your camera, you should be able to see where you can attach this plate. The best orientation is probably this one and not this one. If you have a long lens, you want to make sure to use probably a screwdriver to even tighten this more. Sometimes if the connection between the plate and the camera is loose, the camera tends to move. To put the camera on top of your tripod, you only need to place it here and then hold the camera while you're tightening this knob. Before letting it go, just make sure that it's completely tight and then you're good to go. To point the camera to different directions, what you need to do is using these two knobs. So there's one on each side. Hold the camera before loosening any of these knobs, and then the camera can move freely. So you can point it down, to the side, or up, whichever you prefer. Use both of the knobs to tighten it completely. Don't let the camera go before making sure that it's completely tight. There's another knob on this side. If you tighten that knob, you can see that the camera is not going to be able to pan, but to loosen that, you should be able to pan the tripod head. I'm going to take this out. One thing to notice is that the tripod is made in two parts. We have a tripod head and the tripod itself. If I completely tighten this, I can take this part out. I'm going to attach it again. It's important to know that because you always want this tripod head completely tight to the tripod itself. To do that, you can tighten this knob, the panning knob, just the whole part of the tripod head. And now it's completely secure. So with only loosening this panning knob, you can pan the knob. You're not actually taking the tripod head out from the tripod. So we covered these four knobs, but what about this center column? So we can extend the height of the tripod using this knob. If you loosen that knob, the tripod head will move freely, and wherever you feel this is the position that I want to have, you can again tighten the knob. There's also one knob in here and one more in here. You're not gonna likely use this because the only thing that it will do if I loosen this knob is that you will be able to pan. You really don't need that because what we do normally is using the panning knob. It's more efficient and it's way more easy to rotate the tripod on its own axis. So never use that, and you don't want to let it untight. So you want to tighten it to avoid any further shakes. There is this knob in here. If you untie this part, you can see that the tripod head will wiggle. So you want that to be tight whenever you are in normal position. There is another position, and it's for pointing the camera to the floor. We've covered this, that with this knob, you can increase and extend the height of the tripod, but it will be locked and it's not going to go any further to the top. So with this, there's the red button down here. If you push that, it will be released, and now it's further high. And now with loosening this knob, I can rotate the top part of the tripod, and now with fastening this and tightening this knob, I can have my camera aimed down or high to the top, whichever you prefer. We suggest not to use this because when you attach the camera here, the camera will tend to fall. So you need to create the balance using your hand here. Make sure the tripod is completely balanced. The downside of this is that when you hold the tripod, you might add a little bit of shake to your camera and your images might end up a little bit blurry. If you're using a fast shutter speed, probably it's not going to have too much of an effect on your images. To get this back to the original position, untie these two knobs and then bring it back up here and down here, and again tighten these knobs. There are three of these to extend the height of the tripod. So this is the first one, second one, and then the third one. So it's pretty tall. You don't set the tripod based on how tall you are. You set the tripod based on where you want the camera to be. So these are two different things. Don't think that you're tall, you need a very tall tripod. When you get the tripod, it's folded, and so you extend these legs, but these legs can even extend more. So if I hold this and down, see it's locked, but if I take this a little bit back, now I can unlock it, and then this can go this way. So I can extend each of these tripods. And you might ask, why do I want to do this? It's because if you're using the center column, you can now be super close to the surface that you're photographing. So for example, you find a very teeny tiny element relatively close to the surface, and you want to photograph that, and you want to use your tripod, but you don't want to looking down on them. You can use this method to get super close. When you bring back the tripod, it's very important for you not to forget about the plate. So the plate is mostly attached to a camera. We tend to forget about that. So you want to take this out and put it back, because without this plate, this tripod is going to be useless. Thank you for watching, and let me know if you have any questions.